Welcome to part 4 of our P&O Arcadia Festive 4-night cruise. In this video, we wake up early to watch the sail out from the North Sea Canal. We have breakfast in a very empty buffet. And we spend some time in the Rising Sun pub. Then the following morning we disembark the ship and take a long, wet drive home to Scotland. Suze woke early, and looking outside, she could see we were cruising down the North Sea Canal. She woke me up and we both threw on some warm clothes and headed for the top decks to have a look. I'll film a bit of what we saw, but I'll also upload all the footage we took to our channel in a week or so for anyone who's interested to see it. We were really enjoying watching the nighttime industrial views along the canal. But the rain and sleet eventually drove us back indoors. Where we found a very empty buffet. We got a surprisingly nice cup of coffee from one of the bean to cup machines. And a very tasty breakfast. One good thing about getting up early was beating the crowds. Feeling warmer, we braved the weather again on deck. It hadn't improved much. The nighttime views though were still spectacular. And at one point we sailed past the Ocean Majesty cruise ship, which I believe is now being used to house refugees. After some time enjoying the nighttime views, we eventually arrived at the Ijmuiden Sea Locks. Our ship took an absolute age entering these. Again, I'll put a little bit of footage up here, and I'll put the main footage up on our channel at some point. Once we were safely in the lock, we headed back to the still empty buffet. Where we grabbed another coffee and a couple of breakfast pastries. By the time we'd finished these, the ship was clear of the locks. So I headed back on deck to watch us leave the Netherlands behind. And we sailed out into the cold, misty North Sea. By now, we both decided we could use more sleep. So we headed back downstairs to our cabin. When we woke again, it was almost lunchtime. So after a swift drink at the piano bar, we took a walk through the ship to the Meridian restaurant, where we got a very nice table by the window. As we'd had breakfast so early, I decided on 3 courses for lunch. I began with the hot smoked salmon tart. Then we both had the Asian platter, which was absolutely delicious. For dessert, we both enjoyed the sticky toffee pudding. And as Suze hadn't had a starter, she also had the 5-spice chocolate cake. After lunch, we headed to the Rising Sun, which is the onboard pub. We hadn't spent a lot of time here, as it was really busy on our cruise. But we got a very nice table by the window and had a couple of drinks while we listened to the busker. After these, we had a wander around the ship, checking out the cafe and the gift shops, where we bought ourselves a nice P&O mug. And as the weather had turned out nice again, we went for a walk on prom deck to get some fresh air and to check out the shipping. All that walking and fresh air gave us an appetite again. So after having a swift drink at the piano bar, we headed up to the Neptune Grill, where we had another very tasty hot dog and burger. Which we followed up with some scones, cakes and coffee from the buffet afternoon tea. From there we headed back to our cabin. We had a can of Coke from the stocks we bought on board and then a quick snooze before heading out for a pre-dinner drink. The weather had changed again, and as you can see it was now really windy. We had a quick drink in the crow's nest, but the ship was really moving around a lot up here. So we headed back down to the rising sun and found ourselves a nice spot to have a few drinks and listen to the music. We really liked the pub atmosphere and wish we spent more time here. A few drinks later we were getting peckish, so we headed up to the buffet where it was Asian food evening. This doesn't look pretty, but after a few drinks was very welcome, and it tasted great. To be fair, we've been impressed by most of the food we'd had on board this week. Early the next morning, we said goodbye to our comfortable cabin. We decided to self-disembark as we wanted to get away early, as we had a long drive back to Scotland ahead of us. Disembarking was really easy. We walked straight off the ship and through the terminal, out into a very wet Southampton. We caught an Uber back to the Westgate shopping centre, loaded up the car in what was now a very empty car park, and paid our parking bill, which was £24, a real bargain for 4 nights parking. Driving out from Southampton, the weather was pretty bad. And it didn't get much better as we headed north. We stopped for a late breakfast at an OK diner on the A1, which we always enjoy. And then again for a coffee and a bathroom break at Mainskill Farm Shop on the A66, where we spotted some animals watching us as we left. From there we kept heading west. And then eventually turning north. To cross the border back into Scotland. Where we continued our journey home. And we were very glad when we finally got there. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our first P&O cruise series. We'd be really grateful if you'd consider giving this video a like and subscribing to our cruise channel. Good night.